competitive world, average won't cut it. The Success Launch Point shows you how to stand out, deliver massive value, and rise above the crowd. With on-demand courses, expert coaching, and a community focused on growth, you'll accelerate your career and your paycheck. It's time to level up. Check out modernobserver.com/launchpoint.
Nuclear testing resumes. Deals with China and South Korea. The Fed cuts interest rates, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President Donald Trump announced that he has ordered the United States to resume nuclear weapons testing immediately, saying he directed the Department of War to match other nations' programs. He called the move a necessary step to maintain global parity. Trump wrote in a Truth Social post Wednesday night, "The United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second and China is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years," Trump said. "Because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately." Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One after a high-stakes meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping, Trump said it was a response to other nations' recent actions. The United States halted nuclear testing in 1992. President Trump said South Korea will pay $350 billion to reduce U.S. tariffs and invest $600 billion in American energy and business. In a Truth Social post Wednesday, he added that he approved Seoul's plan to build nuclear-powered submarines as part of what he called a stronger military alliance. Trump was also awarded the Grand Order of Mugan-gwa, South Korea's highest honor. Trump announced lower tariffs on China, which agreed to pull back some rare earth restrictions. The developments came as the president concluded his trip to Asia with a meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping at a military base in Busan, South Korea. President Trump told reporters on board Air Force One that he halved the 20% tariffs levied on China due to its role in fentanyl production, bringing the overall tariff rate on Chinese goods to 47% from 57%. Following the meeting, China's Commerce Ministry said it would enact a one-year suspension of some rare earth export controls, but did not mention dropping its requirements for export licenses for 7 kinds of rare earth minerals and the magnets made from them, which have been snaring manufacturing in the U.S. and Europe. A comprehensive trade deal between the U.S. and China was not announced. Senator Chuck Grassley released on Wednesday 197 subpoenas that the Biden administration's FBI used to seek testimony and documents related to hundreds of Republicans and GOP entities as part of the Bureau's Arctic Frost probe, the precursor to former Special Counsel Jack Smith's election investigation. Arctic Frost was the vehicle by which partisan FBI agents and DOJ prosecutors could improperly investigate the entire Republican political apparatus, Grassley said at a press conference. Contrary to what Smith has said publicly, this was clearly a fishing expedition. Standing alongside Grassley, Senator Ron Johnson called the subpoenas nothing short of a Biden administration enemies list. An aide to Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey was arrested for cocaine trafficking after investigators intercepted packages with the drugs slated to be delivered to a state office building where he worked, prosecutors announced. Lamar Cook, age 45, of Springfield, pleaded not guilty during his arraignment Wednesday and was ordered held without bail pending a court hearing, Boston.com reported. In addition to the drug charge, Cook is also charged with illegally owning a firearm and ammunition. Meta, Microsoft, and Google's parent company Alphabet all reported earnings yesterday. Meta's stock slumped in after-hours trading despite it reporting record revenue for the third quarter as it revealed expectations that AI infrastructure spending would grow significantly next year, plus a significant one-time tax hit. Microsoft unveiled plans to spend big to double its data center capacity, and it also fell in extended trading. But Alphabet stock rose even though it too upped its anticipated capital expenditures. The company raked in more than $100 billion in quarterly revenue for the first time, and its cloud units revenue grew 34% year over year. Amazon and Apple will announce their earnings today. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates by a quarter point Wednesday, marking its second straight reduction as job growth continues to slow. Rates now sit between 3.75% and 4%, the lowest since 2022, though Chair Jerome Powell warned another cut in December is far from a foregone conclusion. In September, officials predicted rate cuts in both October and December. But Powell signaled that the government shutdown, which has halted economic data, could thwart the plan. Wednesday's decision split policymakers. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.